and welcome to the Doofcast, a film and TV podcast from Doof Media. My name is Scott Daly, and joining me, as always, he's not completely anonymous anymore because I've seen his belly button. It's Matt Freeman. How's it going today, Matt?
Where did you see my belly button? What?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god!
Don't worry about
What the hell? Anyway,
this week on the show, we're doing another new film episode, Matt. We're just 2 and 3 weeks here. That's pretty impressive of us. We go to the movies occasionally.
yeah, we do.
Along with, let me just check the numbers here. Everyone else on planet Earth, it appears.
Oh yeah, that's accurate.
Today, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the newest film in the Spider-Man series, and a pretty good movie. We watched it and we wanted to talk about it, so here we are.
And we're both very excited to do that.
Yeah, before we get started, I just want to say we forgot to do a discussion question last week, so we're not going to have a read a discussion question answer section this week. That's my bad. I don't know. I thought we had one, but
somehow it's both of our bad because neither of us even noticed that happened.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny.
I have a very distinct memory of like being like 3 days into the episode release and like nobody has responded to the discussion question on the Reddit yet, and I was a little bummed about it. And I was like, wait a minute. We didn't ask anything.
Yeah, that's
oh well.
That's a fumble. Oh well.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk all about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Matt, what is this movie all about?
A forgotten Peter Parker lives alone as a full-time Spider-Man until mounting pressure triggers a dangerous change and a powerful new enemy emerges.
This movie was written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. It was directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who you might know from the film Short Term 12, which is a movie I really loved. He also directed the Shang-Chi movie, and he directed and created this year's Wonder Man, like a really good MCU TV show that I really liked and that they said was going to get a second season. And then they changed their minds after they announced it and they canceled it. So I'm a little mad about that.
Shoot.
Yeah. The movie stars Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Sadie Sink as beep. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Matt, Spider-Man, Brand New Day. What did you think?
Oh, man. So I think it's been a while since we talked about Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I have always said that Spider-Man 2 has either been our actual favorite superhero movie or in contention for that title pretty much forever.
Yeah. I think every time we talk about any Spider-Man thing, we talk about how much we love Spider-Man 2 because it's just very important to us.
And the reason I bring that up is just that this movie is a great Spider-Man movie for all the same reasons that I think Spider-Man 2 is a great Spider-Man movie. Understands the character, has really good action, really well shot action, unlike some other movies that I could name. Good, and I mean it's just a good story. It delivers, you know. It's I think I loved it. My kids loved it. Everybody I've talked to who's seen it really likes it. And I guess we're going to start with a spoiler-free section, perhaps. I don't know, because it's a new movie. What do you think?
I guess we can do that. Like, I think, you know, we made the Sadie Sink joke at the beginning of the episode, and I think the reason why I made that joke is because they really kept it under wraps. Like, everyone knew she was in this movie. They worked very hard to keep it a secret of who she was playing in the movie, and it became like a thing. The secret of who she was playing. So yeah, I feel like if they worked so hard to keep that from people, I don't want to take that from people who might have just tuned in to hear an overall opinion of the movie before we got into really talking about it.
I agree. Just for a bit. Yeah. So what was your overall opinion? Yeah,
I mean, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I had an interesting journey with it where I think the initial reactions came out and they were very positive. I think the one I had sent you was like someone saying, this is the best Spider-Man film since Spider-Man 2. And I think I always kind of go, okay, yeah, okay, buddy. Sure, man. And then like I some more reactions came out and some were a little bit more muted. And then there were some of the critics I listened to that didn't like it very much. And it allowed me to kind of level set my expectations a little bit. And so I went in with it, cautious, but ready to have some fun. And I completely agree with everything you said that, I watched Spider-Man Homecoming a couple weeks ago because I wanted to take my son to this movie. And so I was going to we'll watch the other Spider-Man movies to get you ready to go see this one. And he watched Homecoming with me and he really liked it, but he did not want to watch any of the other ones with me. So I did not take him to this. I'm kind of glad I didn't take it. I think there's for a 5-year-old, there's some heavy stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
But I was really struck on the rewatch of just I think I knew this. I think everyone knows this, but the rewatch, just how much that's an Iron Man movie and how much the Tom Holland Peter Parker has been kind of driven by his relationship with Iron Man throughout this series. In a way that really, it did bug me on that rewatch of just how much of it is the suit and the voice in his suit talking to him, which is just not a Spider-Man thing at all. And it really bugged me on that rewatch. And so I think my point here is to say that I think it took 3 movies to get to the point where the Tom Holland Spider-Man got to actually just be Spider-Man. But I think we're here. I think we've done it. And you could look at that original trilogy as instead of them not doing an origin story like they said they were not going to do, they did one. It just took 3 movies to do it.
I think I saw a clip of, I think it was Kevin Feige actually saying, well, what we've done is we've basically completed the first act of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 movie in our first 3 movies. And I was like, oh my God, you're just admitting it. Which is exactly why they're kind of okay. I think you and I were pretty positive about those movies in our discussions because they're fun.
Yeah.
But they're fun in a way where you always just kind of feel it's not really Spider-Man. I mean, it's okay, whatever. It's fine. You do different adaptations, whatever. But they never touched me as much. And I think the movie previous to this did touch me, right? I think that's one of the nice. I honestly think one of the reasons why this movie works so well is that the previous movie ends us on a really compelling, dramatic moment of everyone forgetting him, MJ, and his. Let's not forget his best friend, whose name I clicked away from the screen now.
I'm not going to help you at all. I'm offended on behalf of him.
Ned.
There you go.
His best friend Ned forgetting him. And us actually caring about that because the movie had dramatized it properly. And then this movie starts and you're like, all right, I'm already invested. This is one of the good things you can do with sequels and continuities is you can be I am pre-invested in Peter Parker making contact with his friends. I need that to happen in this movie. and so you and the movie knows that. And the movie is written around the fact that it knows that you are coming in with a strong, dramatic urge, already, and it takes advantage of that, and it's perfect. It really works in that way.
Completely agree. I think that's true, and I think we were very positive on the. Is it No Way Home? Is the name of that one? Yeah. But I think a lot of that for me was drafting off of the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield part of it. I guess spoilers for that movie. I have my qualms with the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I really liked Andrew Garfield in the role, and it felt like he got a little bit of redemption. So I was really emotionally invested in that, and it's a decent movie. I think this movie, just for those that are listening to avoid spoilers, I think this is a better movie than any other of the Tom Holland movies. Even that last one. So I think this is just a better movie all around. But yeah, it was definitely drafting off of the gimmick it was doing in that movie, and it worked. And it did end on an emotional thing that I think does carry us into this movie because we want to see the resolution of that. And I think they pulled it off. I think the suit looks amazing. I think there's a lot of, I think, the conceit of the movie, as you kind of read in the description, was that Tom Holland's character, Peter Parker, has fully embraced just like the 24/7 Spider-Man of it all, where he is essentially not being Peter Parker anymore and is just being Spider-Man. And a result of that is he like rarely takes the costume off. Like he's always wearing it. And definitionally, we cannot do the thing that so many superhero movies do, is where we have him have the mask on for action scenes, but then like the second we have any character scene, he rips the mask off. He can't do that because he's specifically like not showing his face. It's part of the whole there is no Peter Parker, there is only Spider-Man thing. And so what we get is a lot of scenes of Tom Holland in full Spider-Man getup, just in scenes talking with people in the bath, in a corporate office. And it really emphasized for me like how good the suit looks, how good he looks in the suit. Tom Holland is also like, he's, we joked, I think in the cold open for one of our Flanagan's Awake podcasts the other day, is that he like perpetually looks like a boy. This dude looks like a fucking man in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's shredded. So like, yeah, it looks really good. I think you're right that the action is very good. I think we talked about Shang-Chi however many years ago that was, and while I ultimately didn't end up liking how that movie ended, there were early sequences in it where the action was just phenomenal. And so it's very easy to see that translated with the same director to this movie. It's just a very well done movie. The story is very well told. The dramatic beats work on you. You're, as you said, you're invested in the Ned and MJ relationships. You're invested in the Sadie Sink character, who we'll talk about once we get to spoilers. The Punisher is in this and is very good. Hulk is in this. I think that stuff works very well as well. Yeah, man, it's just, the movie works. The movie's very functional in the best way.
Good to move on to spoilers, you think?
Yeah, I don't know what else to say
I
without spoiling the big thing that's in this movie.
Yeah, all right.
Spoilers. All right. So everyone kind of guessed that Sadie Sink was playing Jean Grey, but they did a really good job of keeping that information from ever being confirmed until the movie came out. And I don't know why it never occurred to me that she was Jean Grey. Well, okay, I kind of knew, but like it never occurred to me that, because we watched the trailers and we're like, there's this thing that's like jumping from person to person, and like, who could that be? And I was like, hey, I bet Sadie Sink is Jean Grey, but I never went, oh, and that means she's the bad guy. That never occurred to me, and I felt so stupid afterwards. Where I'm like, oh, duh. But yeah, no. So she's the antagonist, at least in the first part of the film. And she's phenomenal, man. I love. Yeah. She's so good in this character. And this is the thing that this movie does that I think is important to hit. We were talking about this right before we started recording. Like, there is a lot of MCU building block stuff shoehorned into this movie. There is. And normally that stuff drives me crazy. But it was all functional here. Like, it all worked on me.
Yeah. Well, I think because every time something is included, it ends up carrying its weight in some way where you actually feel it. Like,
yeah.
The fact that it's the Punisher. I've never watched the Punisher TV show. I think I've watched the other two Punisher movies, or maybe there was only one. It doesn't matter. The point is, I don't really have investment in the Punisher as a character.
Sure.
But this movie manages to basically introduce you to this character and get you to care about him and get you to understand him a bit, and then create dramatic situations where you're like, oh, I care about what Frank is feeling in this scene, and also his sort of, rough and tumble uncle relationship with Peter is important because it's important to Peter, and we're spending the right amount of time sitting with these character relationships. Same thing with Hulk. Like, very easy to cynically just be like, we're going to throw Hulk in this one because it'd be, people like Hulk, but it's like, no, there's scenes with Banner, and then the way that Hulk is used, like, maybe I am just like slow, but I was still surprised. I was basically surprised by everything that happened in this movie. Like you mentioned, you knew that she was Jean Grey, or you guessed she did. See, I didn't even know. I wasn't paying attention to this movie, so I don't know who Sadie Sink is. I didn't know that a redheaded woman named Sadie Sink was going to be in the movie. I was taken off guard, and then when we see the woman in the hood, I certainly wasn't thinking Jean Grey. And I mean, the funny thing is when they say her name is Jean Grey, I like looked over at my kids sitting next to me in the theater and made this big like face of like, oh, it's Jean Grey, and then they looked at me with faces where they were trying to reciprocate my emotion, but it was clear that they had no idea who that was.
Who is that?
Yeah. And of course I couldn't explain. I couldn't be like, hold on, she's an X-Man. Yeah. And the implications of this are numerous. Let me explain. No. So we just I had to tell them later who Jean Grey is.
That's wonderful.
So that was great. I mean, I love the moment. We're talking about the Hulk. So like, I love the moment again, like dramatically. I love the moment when the Hulk, you've heard this pounding, like you've heard this pounding in the damage control building, and you're just like, I don't know, something hitting the wall, I guess. Like you're not, and then you realize like the thing that's pounding is the Hulk because she's puppeteering the Hulk, and I was like, oh shit, this is a terrible situation that you're in, Peter. What are you going to do? And like, that's what you should feel. You should feel like, oh no, you shouldn't just be like, yay, it's the Hulk. Like it's just like a well done movie that actually makes you feel the things you're supposed to feel. I don't know.
Well, and it like, again, the inclusion of the Hulk is not just fun MCU tie. It's what's going on with the Hulk and what the Hulk goes through in this movie is a direct reflection of what Peter's going through. The entire idea of the two sides of a person and struggling to keep one side in check, while, in certain ways, reflect perfectly on Peter Parker and Spider-Man and the two sides of him and how he's struggling, and his struggles are born by the fact that he's ignoring one side completely and focusing entirely on the other, which is, I really, really love the intro montage in this movie, like of just like getting us to where Peter is. And I was I guess I should have expected it, but I was so surprised we moved forward in time that much, that we like jump essentially the entire college career of MJ and Ned. And it, like, getting to watch it in that montage, although it was quick, like really served to put me in Peter's headspace where I'm like, oh my God, he missed all of college. He missed it. He didn't participate in that. Like that's a seminal experience of a young person's life that he just didn't get to participate in at all. And I was like horrified in a little way. And I think that really helped me just get where he is. And I also really love the one scene where he's, getting out of his elevator into his apartment floor, and a cute girl is like, hey, we're neighbors. And his response to that is to be awkward and then move to the attic apartment because he's so uninterested in being close to anyone. I just like, that's really great, like quick storytelling, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I love the montage. I love it so much. It's I mean, basically everything you said, it lands incredibly hard because what I said a minute ago, you're coming out of the previous movie with this urgency to be like, I need him to go tell his friends. I need this. This has been causing me pain for years.
Yeah.
You need to resolve this for me. And then the movie's like, it's showing like he's still thinking about them all the time. And he's just letting time pass. And maybe he is, and you see that he still has the coffee cup with the letter in it. And it's like you can see him toying with the idea of like, I could just go tell her. But no, not now. I'm not ready. And then you see more and more time passing. And you, like you said, you realize like you're missing it, man. Like there's going to be a time when it's too late. It's just too late to do this.
And it almost feels like we get there. Like college being over, it's like it's over.
I think that's correct. I think it's like, man, you actually waited until it was too late. I think the moment, the dramatic place that we're in with him, I think is him actually realizing like, oh, there's no point in reaching out to MJ now. Like she's moving on with her life. She has a boyfriend. Yeah. She's going to get a job. She's going to go off and have her life. And she's not like the girl who I'm pining for, who I'm going to reconnect with, she is in fact just a girl in my past.
Yeah.
And him, believing that and that like sort of dawning on him. And then I think that causes a desperation for him to make that not be the case, which, that very desperation makes it even worse when they just stab us in the heart and twist the knife.
Oh
in
my God.
The fantastic sequence of scenes where they have her be possessed and tell him like, I do remember you and I love you. And then be like, psych, idiot.
The thing with that is like, I'm not going to say like I guessed it midway through, but I was kind of like, this is too neat and easy.
Yeah.
Like there was a little bit of my emotion that was like loving every second of this and relishing in it, but also was like, oh, this isn't real, right? This can't be real. It can't be this simple. It can't be this easy.
Yeah.
And of course of course it's not.
Yes, I agree. My emotional journey there was part of me being like, I'm good. I'm satisfied because this is what I wanted to happen. And then another part of me in that very moment being like, that's a little disappointingly like pat. Like that was kind of easy. Like,
and it's still like midpoint of the movie too.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this is wrapped up in the second act. That feels weird.
Yeah. And I didn't really feel like the satisfaction that I wanted. And then you realize it's not true. And I was like, oh my God.
Mean.
It's so good. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Like you really got me, movie. I really am mad at you now.
Yeah.
Or you're mad at Jean Grey specifically. Like, how dare you? How dare you do this to our Peter? This is even worse than when you made that old man step in front of traffic and get hit by a car.
Oh yeah, she did do that.
She did do that. Yeah.
Well, people are complicated.
Everybody forgets about that part.
He was probably a bad guy. She was in his head. And
Yeah.
He was like, oh, this guy's no good.
Yeah.
Gotta take care of him.
Yeah, we're gonna find out in a later movie that had to happen.
Yeah, I like, I don't know. Like, so like, again, we talked a few weeks ago about the MCU and our feelings of stagnation and kind of boredom with it. And I still don't know if I'm like fully bought into whatever this X-Men movie is going to be, how exactly they're going to bring the X-Men into it. I think it is, from what I've understood, I do not believe Spider-Man is going to appear in Avengers Doomsday. Although I think he will be in Secret Wars, the next Avengers movie coming. I think that's what, did you stay for the end credits thing?
Yes, I did.
I think that's what that's saying, because like there is, in the Secret Wars comic, there is like a battle world that I believe Doom creates, and it's like a planet just near the moon, where like all the heroes have to go fight in some battle world thing. I have not read it, but I think that's what that was saying. There's a alternate universe Spider-Man that is now on Battle World or something. I don't know. But like, I still don't know how much I care about all that stuff, but like, I thought this was such a great way of introducing Jean Grey. I was so, and like, a great way of introducing Jean Grey, in that like, it's a great way to introduce a character, but also she's fully functional inside the movie itself. Like, the movie is essentially about her, and is about, in the best way these movies do, where the antagonists and the protagonists are mirroring each other's arcs, where they're both going through something similar. They're both frightfully alone, and they're dealing with it in their own way. And that way is destructive to both of them. Yeah. And they learn through each other that there's a better way. And that's just like simple story construction, not uncomplicated story construction, but like very effective. Like just like very, very effective.
I agree. I also, just in context of this, as like we're introducing the X-Men movie, I think I was thinking about this. I think the X-Men always work the best when the specific aspect of the X-Men being highly persecuted is emphasized.
Yeah.
Like, because there's some movies where that's just not really that relevant, or maybe it's sort of given lip service. Like, but like the pieces where it's like, they are on the ropes. They are being punted. They are being persecuted. They are fighting for their right to exist. And furthermore, you actually have to feel that that's true, because like, and there are a bunch of X-Men movies. Some of them do a better job of this, and some a worse job. And I always felt like that was the strength of those movies. And so we're introducing our first. I mean, I know we've had Professor X and we've had Wolverine, Deadpool. You know what I mean when I say
all of those.
Yeah.
I mean, except Deadpool, like all of those characters are about to die in this Doctor Doom movie. So like, yeah, this is our first new X-Men, I think, like truly. Yeah,
this is the MCU, not like some satellite thing like Deadpool.
Yeah.
And we're introducing it in this context where, you know, you've got a sinister quasi-government organization trying to hunt down and, you know, kill her sister, and then try to kill her to extract her power. And it's like, yeah, this is terrible. Like, these are by the way, I'm throwing this in the middle of a point I'm trying to make, but like, I think everybody I've talked to agrees that the VMAX reveal is incredible.
Yes.
Not the kind of thing that you're expecting in a Marvel movie. I think we talked about this at some point, but like, you assume VMAX is going to be a secret code, or maybe it's like an anagram, or like it actually is it means X-Men, you know. VMAX is kind of sounds like X-Men. It's like, okay,
we're racking my brain figuring out how we were going to tie this into some X-Men shit. Yeah.
You're expecting it to connect to the blue laser that's going to shoot into the sky at the end of the movie, right? Which I guess it kind of does, but not the way you're thinking, because it's like, you know, you just learned that the sister that she's trying to save is just dead. She's just dead. That's it. And she just died in this room and was staring at the ceiling when she died and broadcast the last thing that she saw. And that's all there is to it. And it's like, oh my God. Like I felt like a real like sinking feeling of like sadness and horror.
Yeah.
The likes of which I don't remember really feeling in any superhero movie in a long time. When you're watching that happen, and the movie's kind of letting you have the realization, and not, I mean, eventually it does kind of literalize it, but it spends a long time just showing it and then letting you put it together and realize, oh no.
I mean, and this is the thing that I think we should just be doing in superhero movies now, because I think we're so, like, the genre has been so picked over for the last 20 odd years. We've done everything almost in it. And so everyone watching the movie is so savvy on what the tricks of the genre is. And so you can use those to manipulate people in little ways. And it's like, we know the MacGuffins. We know how this works. We know what that is going to represent and what that's going to mean. And the movie knows we know it. And so it's using that to set us up, and then pay us off in a perfect way. And like that's the type of stuff you want to see this late into the superhero genre thing, right? That's like, that's I don't want to call this movie like the Unforgiven of superhero movies, but like that is what Unforgiven is doing, right? It's taking the genre tropes and it's really fucking with them in a way that understands that every person watching like knows what a Clint Eastwood Western movie is like. Everyone watching this movie knows what a Spider-Man movie is like, knows what a MCU movie is like. And they know what to expect from it. And so here you go. We're going to use that to manipulate you into a powerfully emotional reveal at the end of it.
Yeah.
I also want to say though, like, what a fantastic bit of stunt casting with Tremel Tillman as from Severance as the head of damage control.
Yeah.
Because you just like, you're like, oh, you're bad.
Yeah. I couldn't turn to my kids and go, it's Milchick, but because they wouldn't know. But
well, and there was a part of me that was like immediately like, oh, this is definitely a bad guy. And this is before we even knew that we knew definitively that Sadie Sink was Jean Grey. But like it's funny because like Milchick is like bad in that show, but also Milchick is not necessarily bad in that show. So there was a part of me that went, oh, that guy's bad. And then there's a part of me that goes, well, maybe they're just fucking with me. So I don't know what to believe anymore, and that's fun. We talked about the Punisher a little bit at the beginning. Like, I can't believe how integral to this movie the Punisher is. Like, I really thought it was going to be just the thing at the beginning of the movie that we saw in the trailer, where like he's like, it's playing off of there's a long history, there's a long relationship between Spider-Man and the Punisher in the comic books, and they are two superheroes that do things a little bit differently, and they butt heads because of that. And I was expecting things like we saw in the opening of the movie, where like he's trying to stop some crime, and here's the Punisher trying to do it his way, and he's got to like deal with Frank and be like, go home, Frank, and then do the fun thing where we avoid the F-bomb by webbing his mouth. And that's really what I thought the extent of Frank Castle's like role in this movie was going to be. And then no, he's like the dramatic climax of the movie is Frank Castle's gonna murder a girl. Yeah. And Peter Parker has to stop him from doing it. And it's like, I did not expect it. I think, some of my favorite scenes are the scenes on Frank's boat hideout, both between him and Frank, but also between MJ and Peter. Like, that stuff really worked on me. And I just did not expect this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised when he came back into the movie. I thought that was just another little MCU tie-in moment, but then it turns out to be, I was going to say the heart of the movie, and then I second-guessed myself, and now I'm double second-guessing myself, because he is kind of Peter's only actual friend, which is, sad, because he doesn't know Peter, and Peter doesn't know him, but, like, I called him his uncle, or like kind of an older brother figure, possibly, and like he gives him the tough love he needs to hear.
Yeah.
They're also kind of foils for each other in a way that works really well.
Every character in this movie represents a version of Peter Parker if he makes certain choices, right? Like Frank Castle, as he even says to him, is like, this is who you become if you continue down the road you're on. The Hulk and Bruce Banner is another version of that, where he is like artificially clamping down on a part of who he is, in a way that just leads to disaster, right? That's the other side of it. And then of course Jean Grey is part of that as well. This is why the movie works so well, is because like, this is the thing you do. Like, this is I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. The thing about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I don't even know if you remember that movie. The thing that drove me crazy about that movie is you have a character in Electro played by Jamie Foxx, and Electro's whole thing in that movie is that he feels invisible and like no one sees him. And I was like, why did you make the character who represents lightning and power feel like he's invisible? That doesn't make any sense. Make it so he feels like he's not strong enough or not powerful enough, and tie that into Peter Parker's arc and his fear of putting the people that he loves in trouble, and he feels like he doesn't have the power to save them. Like, do that. And that ties things together in a nice, neat way. The idea of like, nobody sees me, nobody notices me, that doesn't make sense for an electricity man. That doesn't make sense. And that's, again, I love about this movie, is it understands how to take your antagonists, your other characters, and tie them centrally into the overarching conflict of what is going on with your protagonist in a way that is incredibly satisfying, every single beat of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense structurally, and then they give it the room to breathe, right? Like that's the thing I keep coming back to is, there's things making sense on paper, and then there's actually bothering to have the scenes where you let things breathe, and that's what the movie really gets right. I mean, we got you mentioned the scenes on the boat. There's the scene when he goes to visit MJ and Ned. Well, there's a couple scenes like that where it's like all that really happens is the character stuff. It's not really plot, it's character stuff. He goes there during the party. That's one like really powerful character moment. He goes again when it's just the two of them and they hang out, and he's still kind of hiding. MJ knows about their connection now, but Ned doesn't. And
I loved that scene. Like, it's to show you, you said lest we forget, this is also about Ned. It's not just about his relationship with MJ.
Okay, so now I get to talk about the surprise emotions that I got to have in this movie that made me so happy. Because what are we always on about, Scott? What are you and I always on about? The lack of representation of male friendships in movies. And honestly, I was super invested in like, he's got to get back with MJ. He's got to get back with MJ. And then maybe part of me was like, and like his best friend also forgot about him, and that's sad, obviously. Yeah. And this movie, it actually shows MJ really did just totally forget about him. But Ned has maybe not a memory, but Ned has this fixation on Spider-Man. He's like, it's almost like you can imagine there's something. Maybe it's the fact that he's magical. Maybe it's just that this is the bond of friends. There's something where he's still fixated on Spider-Man, even though he can't remember who Peter Parker is. And then the ending of the movie, he's like, all right, I'll also kind of walk up to and introduce myself to Ned. And they do the handshake, and you see Ned remember the handshake. And when he goes, Peter, and then it cuts, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. That was what I wanted, actually. I didn't even know that I needed that, right? I think that's what I'm getting at. I didn't even know that I needed, like, that's what Peter needed. Like, that's the way drama works, right? Is like your identification with the character is how the drama works on you. And what Peter needs is his friend Ned. He actually needs Ned more than he needs MJ, kind of. I mean, he definitely needs MJ, right? He's like that. It's Spider-Man. He needs his MJ.
Sure.
But like, that final recognition in his voice when he says that, you're like, oh my God, this is the thing that I've wanted to happen this whole movie and didn't even like know it, actually.
And the friendship is the more powerful thing.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you can tell like both of them, both MJ and Ned, there's something they feel like is missing in their life. It's like they're aware that they're forgetting something on some level.
Yeah.
But I think you're right that it shows in some ways that like his relationship with Ned is more powerful, that Ned can remember that way.
Yeah.
And MJ does. I really loved the part when MJ is like, look, I don't remember you. Like your spell worked. I don't know who you are. I am not the person you are in love with, especially since, again, it has been think of how like transitional college is, like how much you changed in the 4 years you were in college. Like she's quite literally not the same person anymore.
Yeah.
And I love that the movie doesn't let us have the moment of just like everything's fine and we're okay and we're back together. Like, and I hope the next movie doesn't either. Right. I think obviously with Ned is going to remember. It could unlock something. We might even just completely undo the spell on his friends in a way, but maybe not. Maybe we live in this world where I hope we live in this world where they do feel a little bit awkward around each other. Maybe we remember some stuff, maybe not. I don't know. I hope we get to live in that a little bit longer, and we don't just make it like everything's back to normal and we're fine now.
Yeah. I mean, while the part of me that's engaged with the movie wants him to get to be with MJ, the truth about stories is that this is going to work the best when he is not with MJ. You got to maintain like the yearning of Peter for MJ is the engine that powers all three of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and like that's what we've established here is like the yearning has to be the thing that is actually cultivated, not the having. Like the having, like when they're together, I mean, honestly, like in the third movie when MJ and Peter are together, you're just like, oh, okay, cool, good for you.
It's kind of why we need to split them up immediately. And the movie does it very quickly.
Yeah. Like I think what I think I want to see happen dramatically is like they actually have to recreate a new relationship as two adults. Yeah. And then whether or not the memories get restored almost becomes moot. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Sure.
It's the yearning is the key. You gotta have the yearning in Spider-Man. Peter Parker can never be happy and must always be yearning. And if he gets everything, then like that's it. That the story is over essentially, right? Like this
is such a core part of the character to me, and it is nothing. It never existed in these films up until this one. Like the Tom Holland version of the character never had this until this movie, and like now he's kind of got it right. I mean, like he's at least come to a place where he realizes like that's the lovely moment at the end of the movie with Marissa Tomei gets to come back one last time and do that last memory sequence, which I heard that they actually brought in another writer to kind of help punch up that sequence. And I forget who it was, but whoever it was, they like fucking nailed it, because that sequence works on me so well that it gets to be a realization moment for both Peter and for Jean. And it nails the idea of like, you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. And you will work through this. And man, I love it.
Yeah. I love that last moment. I also really love just the directorial flourish of his spider sense causing him to detect that Punisher's about to shoot her, and like how that is visually conveyed in that moment. It was very like, I just adored that like small little moment when he looks and he sees like the darkness in that direction. Mm-hmm. And you know what that means. Like it's so cleverly done.
The movie looks great. Like it really does. Like, I don't know. Like we're biased. I think I cannot talk about Spider-Man 2 like objectively. Like I just can't do it. It's too important to me. But I still think the subway scene from that movie beats anything this movie has done action wise. But I do think the action in this movie is very good. I think like, so, okay, this is the thing I wanted to talk about. I know you haven't played them, but there are 2 PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man games done by Insomniac Games, I think. They're very good. They're very good games. They're very good Spider-Man games. And so much of this movie reminded me of the experience of playing those games. Mm-hmm. Just like the fact that we have all this different cast of characters, like that those games like capture every one of the villains gallery. They also, you'll swing into scenarios where you're there's this character, and so it's just like, oh, we're dealing with the Hulk in this segment of the episode, and then we're dealing with Punisher in this one, and like the way it did that. There's moments like I think they did this intentionally, because there's moments where like he uses different parts of his web stuff in ways that are like the literal web gadgets from the game. When he swings onto like a roof, just a random roof, and there's all these bad guys on the roof, and he has to clear the roof by like kicking them off, but then like quickly webbing them to the side of the building so they don't fall and die. Like that's a thing you do in the video game all the time.
That's cool.
And then like literally one of the big selling point of the game is like there's so many different Spider-Man costumes to discover, and one of them is Spider-Man in a towel with just his mask on, and like that's the Yelena scene, and it's just like I definitely think they were like consciously trying to channel just like the tone and the spirit of this very successful video game when they were building this movie. It really felt like it to me.
That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bit of that gameplay. Maybe held the controller for 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. I think the Spider-Man fighting combat action stuff is some of my favorite. I admit my memory isn't that good, but it's like probably my favorite action since like the Winter Soldier. Like it's easy to follow. Mm-hmm. The physics of it makes sense to your eye and your brain, such that you're not thinking like, oh, this is fake. I mean, really, I know that he can't possibly be Tom Holland in a suit when he's like flying through the air in slow motion with the camera rotating around him, and he's like webbing up a ninja who is also flying. Like I know that has to be CGI, but it's not like it has to be because there's no way to shoot that. But there's nothing about the physics of it or the lighting or any of that actually make you think it is. It's just really high quality. It probably is him in a suit much of the time, but you know that they're not going to make him do ridiculous stunts when they can just use CGI. But point is, it looks fantastic. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really like the choreography and the physics of it.
Yeah.
I even, I loved all of the fights. I love when he fought Hulk because I don't know, like this is definitely like the 7 to 12-year-old in me, but like you always kind of want to see Spider-Man fight the Hulk,
Yeah,
you want
yeah, yeah, of course.
you want to see these pair ups of like how would that go? How that's a cool idea, and like and they're like, and that's a matchup that's fun, by the way, like because Hulk is huge and smashes, and Spider-Man is small but very quick and agile and tricky, and they do it correctly. He uses the webs, he does clever things like weighing the Hulk down with pieces of building.
I love that.
But then ultimately the fight is resolved with an emotional moment.
Yep.
It's just nailing it, man.
And which also I've heard people be just like, oh well, the spell didn't work on Hulk because it was cast on Banner, not Hulk. And I was like, or maybe we're just gesturing towards there is a piece of people, a part of them that still remembers or remembers something or sees a kindred spirit or what have you. I liked all that stuff emotionally. I do have a question though.
Yeah.
What's going on with Bruce Banner in this MCU stuff, man? Like I cannot like it feels like every new MCU movie we have, like the Hulk has gone through a complete character transformation in between films, and I'm always just like, what are we doing?
So I just assumed that some concept had been introduced in the She-Hulk show that I didn't watch.
I guess that's possible, but like, because I want to know is like, where'd Smart Hulk go? Like he achieved this balance, this symbiotic relationship, and everything was good, right? And now suddenly I have to wear this restrictor bracelet. I just like I said, it functionally works in this movie, and I love it in this movie. But there is a part of me that's just like, Hulk is just like a device that does whatever current movie he's in needs it to do.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had the thought while watching the movie of like, I thought he thought he was just Professor Hulk now, but then basically I was immediately like, I don't know, something happened, I guess. and now he's not okay. Like maybe his Hulk status is like progressive, and he can no longer control it the way he used to. And maybe he did. I mean, here's something I didn't actually think of when I was watching the movie, but like maybe he just doesn't want to be a giant green dude anymore. He wants to be a normal man, and if he like pushes himself back into his normal man form, so that he can just like experience a normal life, then the cost of that is like, well, now there's a risk that Angry Hulk is kind of always trying to burst out, right? Like the thing is this the explanation? I don't know, but it makes sense, right? You're not like, what the fuck? You're just like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing something different with Hulk in this movie. I actually, my feeling was honestly like, I kind of wish that the MCU would throw us more of these curveballs and kind of get us used to the idea that like, yeah, sometimes a thing's going to happen and it's going to be maybe a little bit inconsistent with the prior movie because who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this today because like a lot of what people say is like the great thing about comic books is the way that the stories all intertwine and connect to each other, but the negative effect of that is that you feel like you need to constantly be keeping up with everything in order to follow what's going on. I actually think the secret superpower of comic books, especially as they, really apply to children reading them, is like, it doesn't actually fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like if you're caught up on every little beat and thing, like, when I was a kid, and I did not read very many comic books as a kid, but when I was a kid, I would not get, like, I did not have a comic book subscription. I got like, oh, the newest edition of this, or this. I just like, sometimes I would just randomly buy a random comic book that I saw because the cover looked good. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to read this story. I don't know what's going on in the greater adventure of this character. It's just like, here's one little bit of it. And so, yeah, like, I think kids are pretty adaptable to the idea of like, why is this guy like this? Even though in the last one he was like this. And it's like, I don't know, just cause. Yeah. The kid just shrugs and moves on with their day. But like, I think we're so into the canon and the continuity of all this stuff that, and I'm saying we, specifically because I'm the one that posed this question to you. Like, we need all these questions answered, even though maybe they don't.
Yeah,
maybe they don't need to be answered.
Yeah, because we didn't see She-Hulk. Maybe it's explained there. Maybe it's not explained there. I'm fine not knowing.
I completely forgot that She-Hulk was a thing. So
yeah.
you've reminded me that this thing existed. I watched the first episode and it just kind of tapped out after that.
Yeah. It's funny that they basically make a joke of this whole thing in the Spider-Verse movies, where it's like there's the hub with all of the Spider-Mans, and there's Spider-Man 2099 and the ridiculous 90s Spider-Man with the dark brooding attitude and the muscles, and there's Spider-Pig and Spider-Ham rather, sorry, and Spider-Noir, and like the point, that movie kind of embraces it and makes it work and makes it dramatic, but like that's just emphasizing like, yeah, look, this is nonsense. You do whatever you want. You tell whatever story you want within the framework, and you pick up whatever pieces of the framework make sense to you. And if you need Hulk to go back to being a monster again, then yeah, he's got a wristband that doesn't work anymore, and that's what we're doing this time. It's fine. Yeah.
The alternate thing is that the Hulk still appears in this thing, but does not tie in thematically to anything that's going on, because he's just like, Peter has a question about science, and so he goes to talk to Hulk, and we get to point at the screen and say, hey, it's the Hulk. No, we actually do something with it,
right?
And that's what makes this a good movie.
It would be thematically clashing, because it would be Professor Hulk being like, yeah, you can balance the two sides of your lives. I do it all the time. It's easy.
Yeah.
Instead of what we see, which is him like really kind of an interesting. I feel like Hulkman actor. Is
Hulkman actor?
Yeah, I know his name. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Is like, he's a great actor, and I think sometimes he's not like called upon to do much by these Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. But this time, I felt like there was a lot of depth to the few scenes that he was actually there, where like you sort of, he's communicating this suffering and struggle, and when the kids just want to ask him questions about the Avengers and Hulk, I read into the performance that he's like, all right, I'm choosing to be good humored about this, but I really just kind of want to put that behind me.
Yeah.
And when Peter's asking him the questions one-on-one, there's a lot of like intensity to that moment. I thought he was great. And it's like, I'm happy to see that version of this character back, rather than the version of the character that was sort of dramatically inert, because he was like, well, he solved this problem, so he's fine now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And like there's again, we're doing kind of multiple things with it, like where he creates the universal inhibitor chip. There's like a look that Banner gives him that's like you can't do that, and I think we're setting up I think now that Peter Parker has created this thing and then given it over to the government organization that is, of course, going to use it to inhibit any mutant they come across. This is going to be a larger plot point in the Marvel stuff. And it's interesting that it came from Peter in this quest to not deal with the two sides of himself.
Yeah.
That moment, so this movie, Matt, in the year 2026 recreates a Batman Forever scene in which Spider-Man says, I am Bruce Wayne and Batman. not because I have to be, but now because I choose to be. Uh-huh. It recreates that scene in 2026, and it works. It's like, it's emotionally impactful, where he gets to say, I'm both. And then he does both things, and he's awesome. And I loved that whole sequence.
Yeah. I love the sequence of him embracing the mutation that he's undergoing, that he's been afraid of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which I thought they balanced that in nicely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's funny. I don't know that we've even talked about this, but I just have this strong feeling that you're going to agree with me that like I was really happy to see him get the organic web shooters.
Yes.
Like, because that's our Spider-Man, even though it's not like canonically correct that he has organic web shooters. I'm like, yeah, but this is the one I grew up with. And to me, that's the funny thing. To me, it always seemed like he was kind of an imposter because he had to use these fake mechanical web shooters when I know that that's actually authentic to the character, but I'm like, but that not my version of the character.
So is he going to have them forever now? That's one thing I wasn't clear on, is that like, was that just a representative of the Spider-Man side of him going into overdrive, and now that he's reached balance again, that's going to go away naturally? Or is that just going to be part of this version of Spider-Man now?
I think he's still going to have the organic web shooters. And I was actually just considering this. I wasn't thinking about this during the movie, but I wonder if he's going to maintain like a sort of, extra mode where his eyes go black. Like if that's going to be a thing that he maintains in addition to the organic web shooters to kind of, because we're playing, I feel like part of the thing we're doing with that is maybe playing a little bit with this idea of mutants. And Spider-Man is not a mutant, but we're kind of, Spider-Man's always been kind of mutant adjacent. He's been a character who interacts with the X-Men a lot.
Yeah. I do wonder like what the story of mutants is going to be in this universe. Like, and it seems like based on Jean Grey, we're just going to like say, oh, there's just special people. And I like that. Yeah. Like we could just be like lumping Spider-Man in with that. Like not exactly, but kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from the perspective of the world, you can imagine that they would just think of Spider-Man as a mutant.
Yeah. The difference is like that Spider-Man's genes are mutated by the spider bite. Mutants are just kind of born with it, right?
Yeah.
They're born with this mutation. So yeah. But I'm fine with that. I think that slots in just fine for me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll have black eye stuff. I don't know. We're gonna like do Venom eventually, right? Like that's they have to.
I actually think that Secret Wars is the comic book where Venom is introduced.
I think you are correct. On Battle World, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing about all of that, I'm not going to do a full lore dump because it doesn't matter. But like,
I really don't want you to.
No, yeah.
That's good.
I was just going to say, like, it's completely not like the way the symbiote is introduced in the comics is just completely not the way Venom has ever been introduced in the movies. It's like the movies decided Venom is an alien. Venom is an evil alien from space who wants to take people over, and that's just like not the way it starts. Actually, so I do wonder what they're going to do with the Venom symbiote in the movie because they could make it quite different from what we're used to.
They could. I've never like loved Venom, so like I'm not like chomping at the bit to get Venom as soon as possible. But
yeah, I did feel like there was a nod of the head toward the idea when he starts going chimp mode on Scorpion.
I mean, I definitely think like the black suit loss of control Spider-Man thing was there, which is an important part of that. So yeah, for sure.
There's some. I almost felt like we were being teased because the idea of Spider-Man being just like an absurdly strong character who is always holding back is like a fun idea. And then when you just show that one, it's like 5 seconds when he loses control, and it's and it's like really obvious, like, oh, he's actually so much stronger than the way he typically fights. He's just he is just holding back so he doesn't kill these people. And it's like I don't know. It's almost like you're setting it up for some future thing. It stands on its own as like a cool moment in the movie too.
No, it's very powerful and scary. I think the one thing I was definitely most unsure of when watching the trailer is like how this stuff's gonna work. And like we have I think it's Keith David playing like the narrator explaining like the life cycles of spiders, and I was like, what are we gonna do with this? This seems weird to me. It was like more of just a representative part of the movie than like a plot point, I guess. I mean, it is a plot point because like it's impacting his ability to like do things, but I don't know. Like I was worried about it, and it didn't end up being anything to worry about.
Yeah, it did get a really big laugh in my theater when they're showing the video of the spider molting, and then it cuts to his expression watching this happen.
Yeah, very good laughs. Like I really like. We talked about the Yelena part already, but I loved all of that. And then I loved her again on the computer with Ned and MJ there as well. That was very funny. Like, that was all very funny. She's the best.
Yeah.
Like, just please include that character in every single MCU movie from now on, because she's great.
Yeah. Ton of charisma. Funny. They gave her a lot of funny lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great.
Just get to sit in a bath.
Yeah.
With masked Spider-Man. It's great. Yeah. I how long have we been going for? It feels like we've been talking for not that long, but I looked up, it's an hour.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other specific points I wanted to hit. I think it just was a joy of a movie that just worked on me in the way that you always hope that a superhero movie will, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it like shows that there's like still juice in this orange. You know?
Yeah.
There's still stuff to do. There's still things stories you can tell. And again, I don't like, ultimately, I don't think this movie is like doing anything particularly like complicated. It's just like good old fashioned good storytelling.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated it. And it felt like watching the Raimi Spider-Mans again.
Yeah.
It really
good,
did.
Good storytelling, giving us moments to let the characters breathe and have character interactions so that we care about them when stuff happens to them later. And, you know, I don't know, just like well directed. I guess we did want to talk at some point about just like how much money this movie has made and why that might be.
Yeah. So, I mean, if people aren't following this, it's all of it. It's all the money.
Yeah.
It had the biggest single day opening of all time. It had the single biggest weekend of all time, beating Avengers Endgame, both of those things. And like Avengers Endgame was like a culmination of a decade of storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable to me that this is doing this well. Like, it's a good movie. I'm happy to see it doing well, but I mean, I don't want to overreact to this and be like, movies, man, they're back. But it feels like we're just having a very good box office year, like across the board. Like indie films like Obsession blowing up and making big. This movie doing very, very well. The Odyssey doing very, very well. It just feels like we're in a moment. But I expected this movie to do well. I just never expected it to be this level.
Yeah. I didn't either. I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, so there's, I think we've come up with a few possible reasons why, but maybe it's one of those things where it's like, look, it's just all these things together. But the thing that I noticed, like even before the movie came out, is I was like, this is just a really good trailer. And I think that matters, actually. I've definitely complained a lot lately about seeing trailers that just left me completely cold and just totally absent the feeling of like, oh, that looks interesting. That's a cool hook. I want to see what they do with that. Whereas partly the fact of the good trailer, and also the fact that the trailer was able to play on the prior movie, which I wanted to see the resolution of, it kind of successfully reminded me like, hey, remember that? You trailer pushing the buttons, reminding you of that. And then also kind of making a promise to you. Because like a good trailer should kind of make a promise to you of like, this is what you're going to get. You go see this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think it was a very good trailer. I think it's it's kind of coasting off of because the last movie made a shit ton of money too, right? I think the last movie made like $1.7 billion something. Like, I think it was the last movie was the most expensive or the most successful Spider-Man movie ever, until I believe this weekend this movie will pass it and keep going. So like, you have a good movie that a lot of people liked, and so that's going to carry goodwill forward into the next one. I think you have a good trailer. Everyone already like just loves Spider-Man in general, right? Like, he's the most popular superhero character, like just bar none. It's like Spider-Man and then Batman, I think. So he's already like the most popular one. And
Yeah.
then you have the Tom Holland and Zendaya of it all, where they're like very hot right now. Like they're cresting right now, like with the Odyssey. Like Zendaya, there's a movie that came out this year that we haven't talked about because you haven't seen it, called The Drama. And Zendaya, like it's a great little indie movie. It's Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. It's so funny. I think you should see it. I think you'd like it. It's like a small little indie movie that I think ended up making like almost $300 million, and that like all on the back of Zendaya. She's just incredibly marketable star. Like we talked about, there's really no like movie stars anymore. Like Zendaya, Tom Holland, like these Timothy Chalamet, like these are the movie stars that we have, and they have proven they can open movies. And it's got to be part of it. They also like just got married, so like people like this is a movie that centers around their relationship, the character's relationship in the movie, also with their relationship outside the movie. Like it's just like it just feels like the perfect storm of all this stuff hitting at the exact same time. And man, it's just a crazy, ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, like right now that we're recording this Thursday night, so we haven't even gone into its third weekend. It's sitting at 1.7 billion worldwide, 708.4 domestically. Like it has, like no movie has ever made $1 billion domestically. I think making another 300 million on this movie is a tall stretch, but it could do it. It could.
Yeah, it's possible. It's great. I think it's very cool. I think it deserves it.
I also think like Zendaya, I love Zendaya. I think she's a great actress. I think it is interesting that like in this movie and in The Odyssey, which are two movies, like going to be two of the biggest movies of the year. Like she's going to win like the award this year for like the biggest box office between all the things she's in this year. It's like she didn't have to do that much.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, we talked about in The Odyssey where she actually like the shoot time was not very much, but she had to like, she couldn't just like shoot her scenes out in one day because she kept appearing at all the different locations. I really feel like this is a movie where she could have shot out her scenes in a week, maybe. And just like shoot them out and be done. And then she gets to be the most successful movie star of all time. So good for her, but it's just really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and they wisely put her prominently in the marketing.
Of course. And like her, like she is a central core of the film. Like she's just like, but the very nature of the movie and how many different things they have going on, she's just not in that much of it. The parts that she's in it are fantastic. I love her character in this movie. I love the way she reacts. Like a movie's working on you when the thing that you probably knew was going to happen, because we did have a MacGuffin in this movie. It wasn't VMAX, it was the note. And when he comes back into the Punisher's boat and she's sitting there at the table with the note open, I gasped. I audibly gasped.
Yeah. No, I had so many strong emotional reactions while watching this movie. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that both, this is recognizably the same character of MJ who we met as kind of an introverted, sort of too cool for it all high school student. Mm-hmm. But now she's significantly older. She's much more confident, and it felt very authentically like, oh yeah, this is just a grown up MJ. Like I thought that was fantastic. I thought she did a really good job with.
I agree.
The character.
I totally agree. Same with Ned.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I know we already talked about this, but just to hit the beat one more time because of how much it meant to me. Like the idea that, your childhood friendship is this kind of undestroyable thing.
Yeah.
That is like, because what I'm thinking of right now is that thing where I don't know if you ever experienced it. Of course, I guess I do. You're literally writing about it right now. Like where you haven't seen your childhood friends in so long, but you just kind of slide back into those relationships very easily and quickly. It's like there's something ineffable about that relationship that will never quite fully go away. And I think that like him sitting there with Ned, building Legos again and just like shooting the shit and joking around, even though he's in full decked out Spider-Man regalia. Like that is just true to my experience with my childhood friendships and reconnecting with them.
Yeah, totally. I love that. I mean, that's again, it's sort of the secret heart of the movie, if that term makes sense, because the heart that you think you're getting is pining and yearning for MJ.
Mm-hmm.
And Ned, if anything, it's not like I ever disliked Ned. I will not say that like, oh, I never liked the character of Ned. It's just like, no, I don't think I was ever like moved by the character of Ned. It's like it kind of made it made a degree of sense in those movies. I think even at the time, maybe there might have been some complaining from me / us of like, I don't know if Spider-Man works as well when he has a guy in the van. I think Spider-Man is not supposed to have a guy in the van. Spider-Man is supposed to be a loner.
Matt, show some respect. He's the guy in the chair, not the van.
The guy in the chair, yeah. But now he's not the guy in the chair. But like him not being the guy in the chair and him just being this guy who Peter has strong affection for but can't actually talk to, and then he, this is just the scene when he sees him in the 7-Eleven and he's just being a goofball.
Yeah.
And you can feel the like yearning is the wrong word because it's not romantic, but it is a kind of yearning to just like go hug the guy, like that all worked really well in this movie.
I mean, like before this movie, to me, he was just kind of like an archetypal, like comedic relief sidekick character whose main function serves so that our protagonist has someone to exposit dialogue to. And like, I like the actor. I don't want to say anything bad about that. And like, I laughed at the funny parts as anyone did, but yeah, I didn't feel any kind of emotional attachment to him. Even in this one, like the kind of like one-off comedic joke parts of it, like his obsession with that certain energy drink, his addiction to it, like that serves a really interesting function because we get to see that and it's played off as just like a funny joke that Peter can chuckle at, but only from the outside because he's not part of it. And then we get to see a connecting beat of that when Peter's at the party where both MJ and MJ's boyfriend are talking about his addiction to this thing. And it's like, oh, this is a thing that they know because they like even MJ's boyfriend is like they are part of the group. This is a group thing. This is like a thing that they have together, is this ongoing joke about how Ned's hopelessly addicted to this damn energy drink and they keep having to steal it from him. Like that is functional ultimately in the movie. It demonstrates that these people live in a different world now. They've had experiences independent from Peter, and it's not just that they don't remember him. That's part of it, but it's also they've lived completely different lives now.
Yeah, very great, subtle stuff. I mean, you're totally right. I don't know that I even like thought about that analytically in the moment, but yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you know it's good writing is when it's only much later that you even realize that it's writing.
Yeah.
In the moment, you're just like, yeah, that's what happened to those people.
That's a funny joke that those people did. Yeah. No,
yeah.
It's very effective. It's very good. I liked every bit of it. Jean Grey's to talk about Jean Grey again real quick before we end, like the body jumping thing I thought was very effective. Like I think it was it's sinister enough that she works as a villain, but it's not sinister enough where that you forget that maybe that guy's dead now.
Right. Yeah. Well, she was having a really rough time. Okay. Yeah. I like her. I mean, I thought it was cool because this is sort of a like, Peter versus himself movie. And so to me, I don't know if I can like say this succinctly, but he fights the Hulk and he fights the Scorpion and he fights the Red Ninjas, but he never really fights her, right? And it's because it's like she's a phantom. Like how when you kind of struggle with yourself, you can't get your hands around the problem. It disappears.
There's nothing to fight. Yeah. There's no like, you can't just punch away depression and loneliness and identity issues. Yeah.
You said it perfectly. You can't punch away loneliness. It's going to just jump away. And so he has to find other tools. He has to reach out to people. He has to reach out to other people to solve this problem.
The climactic moment of this movie is not a fight; it's a conversation.
Yeah,
and that is everything, and I love it.
Yeah,
what a good movie.
Yeah, love it.
Or is the MCU back?
I mean, yeah.
So I think that's maybe a great way of ending this movie, where we can speak positively about an MCU movie, but still find a way to just rip them apart. Do you think this helps Avengers Doomsday or hurts it?
Well, I think it helps it, especially if Spider-Man is going to be in it. I
don't think he's going to be in this one.
Okay, I have no idea. You probably know something I don't know. If he's not going to be in it, I still think it might help because, well, now you're right. They would have put him in the trailer if he was going to be in it.
I mean, we haven't gotten very many trailers. We've got that very short teaser thing. So
it is, it's a short teaser. Yeah, it's a short teaser. I mean, okay, the worrying thing about this. Okay, Scott, I will find a way to say something bad about the MCU because I have not really liked the Doomsday trailers. I thought they were okay, but they have not achieved the thing that I was saying before, where it's like you hook me, you give me a promise, you give me something I want to see. Yeah, you've not done that for me yet. You've shown me a bunch of the characters who I do in fact like, but you haven't actually like. I like Thor. I'm into Thor. I want to see Thor's arc. I'm actually invested in Thor as a character, but you have to show me a little bit of something on the screen that makes me think like, oh, you're promising me that we're going to do something interesting with Thor. Because right now it's all just Thor like being really dire and then like rage screaming at Doctor Doom, and I'm like, he does that in every movie. That's not anything. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but like that they do need to learn. I don't know what they're supposed to learn exactly, but like learn how to market movies maybe, because like the truth is I think the trailers for the Spider. Okay, let me say this more clearly. The trailers for this movie were very different from your normal MCU trailers, because normal MCU trailers are very heavy on the like, we're going to shove all the stars' faces and like bright lurid action moments into the trailer. And you dumbasses will lap it up because all you want to do is you want to see people in superhero costumes punching. And that's just not true. Like the Spider-Man trailer was a Spider-Man trailer. It reminds you more of like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trailers, which were cut from like a completely different ethos of how trailers were made 20 years ago.
Sure.
And we need to go back to that. Go back to trailers where you're making me dramatic promises in the trailer.
Yeah, and just to say it, like, remember that this is a movie that is not distributed by Disney, Marvel. Like, this is a Sony movie. So Marvel made the movie, Sony distributed it. So was this an MCU trailer? So this is not a usual MCU trailer. I don't know how the relationship works if like Sony is distributing the movie, so Sony is the one responsible for any of the marketing. I think that's how it works. So the reason this doesn't feel like an MCU trailer is because maybe this just literally is not an MCU trailer.
Well, it would be really cool if somebody who works for Marvel would be like, hey, that movie made twice as much money as it should have. Maybe we should hire the people who made the trailers for that movie.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get more Doomsday trailers. We'll get there. So maybe one of the longer form trailers will be a little bit better and show Spider-Man. I mean, I do think like if they're not so my understanding of Doomsday is that it is not Spider-Man forward of a movie. That Secret Wars is going to be the one that he will be featured more prominently in. Does that mean he doesn't appear in it at all? No, I think he probably is in the movie in some variety. And if I'm anyone involved in this movie, I'm looking at the numbers right now and I'm saying we have to cut a trailer that shows this kid in it. Even if he's only in the movie for 2 minutes, let's show 30 seconds of those 2 minutes in this trailer. So I would not be surprised if the next thing we see at least cuts briefly to Spider-Man.
Yeah, if he's in there. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. If he's not in there, what a forced error though. Like I mean this is, you said it's going to help Doomsday. I think you're probably correct. There is an alternative to this, is that like everyone got their MCU out with this whole thing, is like, this was an awesome movie. I love this movie. This was the comic book movie event of the year. And then when Doomsday comes out, everyone's like, didn't we I thought we did this already. I don't want to do this one. I don't, that has never been the case with Marvel. So I doubt that will be the case with Doomsday, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this might, I don't know, my mental model of how this works is like, nothing succeeds like success, and the converse is also true. So like when the MCU movies were all pretty good, people would go see the next one because they would be like, yeah, the last one was pretty good. Maybe
true.
Even really good. And then they started being lackluster, and then people started being like, MCU is over. MCU is, the sun is set on the MCU. So that's a shame. And it became like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of. But it like, I think you and I have been like begging for this to happen, where it's like, look, just start making good movies again, and people will start going to see them again. And like, we liked Thunderbolts. I liked Thunderbolts a lot. I like this movie a lot. But
nobody saw that one. That's the weird thing. That movie did not do well.
I know. But I think, look, I think that was maybe the sacrificial metaphor that I'm missing right now. That like
lamb.
Yeah, but like, it's not really what I'm trying to say. The point is, they had to make one good movie that did badly to be the first good movie that would make people go like, did you see Thunderbolts? No, I didn't. I thought MCU was over. Oh, actually, Thunderbolts was really good. Oh, really? That's interesting. And then that plants the seed of people starting to return.
Okay. I'll buy that.
It's the sacrificial Thunderbolts.
I don't know why you couldn't just go with lamb.
We're just going to refer to it as a sacrificial Thunderbolts, like as if that's a thing.
That's no less confusing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, MCU. Movies, man. Movies are so back. Movies are so back. There's a dinosaur movie coming into theaters this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to see the dinosaur movie?
Probably too busy, honestly, but
the split
good.
diopter dinosaur movie? You're too busy for it?
Scott, does this mean that it's the 90s again?
I think the dream of the 90s is alive in your movie theater.
I think it's the 90s again.
Thank God.
Thank God. We've been waiting so long. I knew this would happen. I knew deep in my heart that the 90s would return.
We would just needed to wait just long enough. It's back. Oh my God, I can't wait for the Matrix. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we had. Like we said, we forgot to ask a discussion question. It would have been something to do with Groundhog Day movies, though.
Yeah,
which are good. Yeah. We do have a question for this week, though, Matt. What is it?
It's who is the best Spider-Man?
Yeah, this is the definitive moment where we decide this forever. We can never undo it. Who's the best Spider-Man?
Yeah, and explain why. Obviously.
And if you say it's not Tobey Maguire because of some like, no, he's not quippy enough stuff, you might be right. But also, shut up.
No, don't listen to him. Tell us tell us all your weird nitpicky reasons why you have a favorite Spider-Man who is not Tobey Maguire, because the answer is Tobey Maguire, but like I'm open to hearing your other answers.
I just what I've come to realize?
Yeah.
I kind of like Spider-Man, just like in general.
Yeah, he is a really good superhero character. I was actually thinking about this too. I was like, why is Spider-Man so great? And it's like, well, web slinging is awesome, and it's like it sits in this very particular point where nobody can ever copy web slinging now because it's so specific.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing in the world.
And so he gets to be forever the one who does web slinging. Like if there's another character who does web slinging, then it's like Venom or something, where it's like, okay, you're just Spider-Man. And then of course the thing that we spent the whole episode talking about is like, as a character, he is a guy who yearns and can never be happy due to his own personal dedication to helping people. which is just an archetype that everybody loves.
It's true.
And there's other reasons, but these are the key things that make Spider-Man great.
I know I've said this on a podcast before, but that's okay. I will never forget the moment where I truly realized that I was just never going to be able to swing from webs across New York City. And I was really sad about it.
Yeah.
So I'm still not quite over that, Matt.
I know.
Still reeling.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. Unless it could be.
I mean, it could.
Is it your fault?
I mean, it's my fault for not having invented the web slinging apparatus for you yet. So
yeah, I mean, there's the adult part of me that looks at the web slinging in this movie, which is phenomenal, and goes like, yeah, I would just die.
Yeah,
like I would just hit that building.
Yeah,
I would just I would shoot my web and it would miss, and I would just fall and die.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, my comment about the physics being accurate. I actually, this is sort of load bearing for me because Spider-Man, web slinging only works if you're absurdly strong. I mean, they show repeatedly in these movies that Spider-Man completely outclasses characters like Captain America and is able to actually fight the Hulk and not die. So he's ridiculously strong, and that is actually required to do anything that looks like web slinging. You can't do that.
His spider sense also gives him very good preternatural senses that
just knows how to do that.
Just knowing how to do that and being able to react instantaneously to oh no, I've swung a bit too far this way to the point where I'm going to hit that building in my face.
Yeah.
Better adjust slightly. Yeah. It's not fair, is what I'm saying.
It's not. Someday we will have the radioactive spider that you can buy, and you have it bite you.
It's not radioactive anymore. We're done with our concern about nuclear weapons, and we've moved on to genetic engineering.
Oh, maybe that's why they never actually really told us. Maybe he just is a mutant in the MCU.
I think he says, we don't get to see I think he says he got bit by a spider in the first one, but maybe he coincidence.
Yeah. or I mean, he's just like an X-Men mutant, and he got bit by a spider, and the mutant gene decided to latch onto that. Who knows, man? Who knows how mutants work?
I think it's just the same week his latent mutant powers happened to activate was also the week he got bit by a spider.
Yeah, I mean, because we thought we understood why they didn't do the origin story, which is they've done it too many times.
But then they did it. But then they did it anyway. They just made it Aunt May instead of
that's
Uncle
true.
Ben.
So they did. But the spider specifically, maybe they were saving that as a reveal so they can be like, hey, it's not what you thought it was, actually.
This is good because the one thing that I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies did really well is try to give some greater backstory to why Peter Parker is Spider-Man. His dad was genetically testing on him, and that was so bad, and I hated it so much. I hope we do it again.
I hope that our Peter Parker is a genetic experiment.
Yeah, that's the best. When you think about Spider-Man, you think about genetic experiment.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Cool.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this week's episode. That was fun. I enjoyed that. What a great movie. If you listen to this whole thing and haven't seen the movie yet, I mean, it's really good. It's really good.
Marvel's back.
Marvel is back. Some would say they never left. Wouldn't be me, but some people might.
Yeah, some people might.
Yep. All right. That is going to do it for us this week. Let us know who your favorite Spider-Man is. And you can send that in via email to doofmedia@gmail.com, over on X @doofmedia, Instagram @doofmedia, reddit.com/r/doofmedia. You can just say hey and tell us who your favorite Spider-Man is.
Yeah. If you're not already subscribed to the Doofcast, we encourage you to do so and ensure you never miss an episode. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere else podcasts can be found.
And hey, you should head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/doofmedia. There is so much stuff there. No kidding. A truly ridiculous amount of things over at that Patreon. Yeah. And you should go check it out. So it's patreon.com/doofmedia. We have our show we have my show, Gabagool, which is talking about The Sopranos. We have Matt's book he's writing over there. We have our book club. We have everything. There's so much over there, y'all.
Yeah, something for everybody.
Yeah, check it out.
Also, please consider giving us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Each review helps us get more exposure and introduces new people to the content that we make here.
All right, folks, back next week with our fourth to last episode of Best 25 in the 21st. We're going to be talking about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Don't worry, Matt watched it a month ago, so he doesn't have to rewatch it.
That's right.
Is that actually going to be your plan?
I mean, I watched it like 100 times before that, too. So
This is why you haven't seen any movies, because you're just watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou over and over again.
I mean, I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least it'll pay off next week. And then never again.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
My name is Doof, and you'll do what I say. My name is Doof, and you'll do what I say.